They say everything is bigger in Texas. The land is bigger. The trucks are bigger. The fortunes are bigger. For the last decade, the Lone Star State has been the crown jewel of the American economy. It is the destination for the Great Migration. Tech giants like Tesla and Oracle moved their headquarters here. Hundreds of thousands of Californians fled the West Coast, seeking lower taxes and freedom. Texas is the land of opportunity. It is the state that prides itself on independence, on grit, and on the cowboy spirit of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. But in 2025, there is a shadow stretching across the plains, as the skylines of Austin, Dallas, and Houston reach higher into the clouds. The people at the bottom are being crushed into the dirt. The crisis we are witnessing here is not just about poverty, it is about the collision of extreme wealth, aggressive politics, and an environment that is trying to kill you. Welcome to Texas Homeless Crisis 2025, a state divided between wealth and despair. Today, we are going to investigate the paradox of the Lone Star State. We are going to look at how the tech boom turned Austin into a fortress of exclusion, how the state criminalized the very act of being homeless, and how the relentless Texas heat turns concrete highways into open-air ovens. To understand the Texas crisis, you have to start in Austin. 10 years ago, Austin was a weird, sleepy college town. It was the live music capital of the world. Today, it is a mini Silicon Valley. The skyline is unrecognizable. The money flowing through this city is staggering. But walk down 6th Street, or venture into the green belt surrounding Lady Bird Lake, and you see the cost of that progress. The California exodus brought money, but it also brought California real estate prices. Rents in Austin skyrocketed. Property taxes forced longtime residents out of their homes. In 2025, the homeless population in Austin is a mix of the old and the new. You have the old Austin residents, musicians, artists, service workers, who simply missed the boat on the boom. And you have the new wave of economic refugees who came here for a job that didn't pay enough to cover the $2,500 rent for a one-bedroom apartment. But unlike California, where tents are often tolerated, Texas has taken a different approach. A law and order approach. Several years ago, Texas passed a statewide ban on camping in public places. In 2025, that ban is being enforced with ruthless efficiency. The visible tent cities under the overpasses have been cleared. To the casual tourist, the problem might look like it's solved. But it hasn't been solved. It has been hidden. We hiked into the dense woods on the outskirts of the city to find the hidden camps. Because camping is illegal and punishable by fines and jail time, the homeless population has retreated into the brush. They are living like fugitives in their own city. We spoke to a man named Travis, a veteran who lives in a camouflaged tent deep in the scrubland. He told us, "If the cops see me, I go to jail. I can't pay the ticket. So I stay invisible. I'm a ghost in this town." This policy of out of sight, out of mind makes the crisis more dangerous. When people hide in the woods, they are further away from water, further away from medical help, and further away from outreach workers. We are seeing people die of treatable conditions simply because they were too afraid to come out of the tree line. But if Austin is the political battleground, Houston is the systemic puzzle. For years, Houston was the poster child for solving homelessness. Their housing first model was studied by cities all over the world. And for a while, it worked. They moved thousands of people off the streets. But in 2025, the Houston model is cracking. The sheer volume of people falling into poverty is outpacing the system. Houston is a sprawling, massive city, a concrete ocean without zoning laws. The homeless here are spread out over hundreds of square miles. In Houston, the enemy is the sprawl. Without a car, you are helpless. If you are homeless in Houston, getting to a job interview, a doctor, or a food bank can take 4 hours on a bus system that doesn't reach the edges of the city. We see people stranded on the medians of massive 10-lane highways, holding signs, surrounded by speeding trucks. And then, there is the heat. You cannot talk about homelessness in Texas without talking about the weather. In the summer of 2025, Texas experienced a heat dome that parked over the state for weeks. Temperatures exceeded 105 degrees Fahrenheit every single day. For the unhoused, this is lethal. Concrete retains heat. At night, the sidewalks in Dallas and San Antonio don't cool down, they radiate heat like a pizza stone. We are seeing a spike in heat stroke deaths. We are seeing people with second-degree burns just from passing out on the pavement. The search for water becomes the only thing that matters. In California, the climate is mild. In Texas, the climate is an active aggressor. We visited cooling centers, libraries and community halls, packed to capacity. But at 7 p.m., they close, and the people are pushed back out into the furnace. There is also a unique demographic factor in Texas, the border. Texas is the front line of the immigration crisis. While many migrants move on to other states, many stay. In cities like El Paso and San Antonio, the shelter systems are overwhelmed by the dual crisis of local homelessness and the influx of asylum seekers. This creates a tension for resources. The local homeless population, often struggling with mental health and addiction, feels pushed aside. The shelters are full, the churches are full, and so, the streets fill up. We traveled to Dallas, a city of immense corporate wealth. The divide here is stark. Downtown Dallas gleams with oil money and banking towers. But just blocks away, in the shadows of the highways, is a desperate struggle. Dallas has aggressively used criminal trespass laws to move people. They clear a camp, arrest the occupants, and throw away their possessions. ID cards, medicines, family photos, all into the dumpster. We spoke to a woman named Maria who lost her insulin in a sweep. They told me to move. She said, "But move where? I have no money. I have no legs to walk far. I just moved to the next block." This is the Texas shuffle. Moving people from one corner to another. Finding people who have no money to pay. And arresting people for the crime of not having a house. It is an expensive, ineffective cycle that destroys lives and solves nothing. But in true Texas fashion, the private sector is trying to step in where the government fails. We visited Community First Village outside Austin. It is a master-planned community of tiny homes for the chronically homeless. It has a cinema, a farm, a mechanic shop. It is a beautiful, dignified place. It proves that housing works. But it is a drop in the bucket. For every person housed in a tiny home, there are 50 more sweating in a tent under I-35. The uncomfortable truth about Texas is that its success is leaving its people behind. The state is growing faster than it can cope. The Texas miracle of low taxes and deregulation has created a booming economy. But a fragile society. When you strip away the safety net in the name of freedom, the people who fall have nowhere to land but the hard, hot ground. As the sun sets over the Texas plains, the heat finally begins to break. The skyline of Austin lights up, purple and gold. It is a beautiful sight. But down in the woods, the flashlights turn on. The ghosts of the city are preparing for another night of hiding. Texas is at a crossroads. It can continue to criminalize poverty, building more jails to hold the homeless, or it can use its immense wealth and spirit to build a solution. Right now, the Lone Star State is a state divided, and the gap between the penthouse and the pavement has never been wider. Thank you for watching this investigation into the Texas crisis. If you believe that we need to look past the myths and see the reality of our states, please like this video. It helps us reach more people. And please, subscribe to America's Uncomfortable Truth. We will continue to travel the country, exposing the stories that need to be told. Leave a comment below. Do you think the camping ban is the right solution? Stay safe, stay hydrated, and never stop demanding the truth.